This is the story of a man. A man so great he was deemed by all to be Supa. He was promptly named Superman Sam, and was greatly respected by all who were fortunate enough to be graced by his presence. And besides this, it appears little else is known about him. In this documentary, we will attempt to examine what it is that makes this man so special. Or should I say, so super. Let's start at the beginning. Contrary to popular belief, Sam wasn't actually born super. His powers were bestowed upon him one fateful day. A story which we will look into later on. So yes, Sam wasn't always super. In fact, he wasn't even Sam to begin with. He was once just like any other man, an average life, an average job. His name was John Halle. Alright, maybe I lied. He wasn't completely average. He had a pretty nice bod which got him a few modeling jobs here and there. He was even featured in Blow at one point, but apart from that, his life was pretty normal. More recently he acquired a voice acting job, providing his talent to TF2.
The enemy is in the beam.
Jake Wyman's In 30 Seconds series.
After many countless attempts of playing Dr. Phil, Twilight gives up trying to help the inbred families.
And even Knife Party.
Floor police, what you gonna do?
One day he decided he wanted a change in career. Although modeling was rather rewarding in terms of money and attention, it was growing rather old. He gave up his career to start a new one in fighting crime. This is where Sam's obsession with doing good arose from. He just kept rising up the ranks: police, military, special ops. The list goes on.
So, how would you describe yourself?
Super!
Unfortunately, after a few years of service as a special agent, he became enemies with the Grim Reaper. Pretty bad position to be in, I know. Probably foiled a few too many of his plans to end the world or something. So yes, he decided to quit the special forces to pursue evil as a vigilante. The Grim Reaper was still a threat though, so Sam decided to go after him. This didn't end too well. In fact, Sam damn near died. He was cut clean in twain. It's a miracle he survived. So, just how did he recover from this terrible state? Well, someone had been watching over Sam's work for a while now. He'd caught their attention when he was still in the armed forces. This person was a man who would come to be known as Super Bad Steve, for reasons that will become apparent later. Well, this Steve bloke brought the top half of Superman Sam's body back to his laboratory and began the process. Now remember, Sam had made quite a pretty penny working as a model and a voice actor, and Steve used this money to essentially rebuild him. The process took a few hours, but by the end of it, Superman Sam was essentially indestructible. There had been a few hiccups, like his legs were now only a few millimeters in length. But other than that, he was essentially a god. So, what did Sam do next? Well, he did the obvious thing and started a band called Super Smash Mouth.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
The members included himself, Steven, an old school friend named Brad, and his bodybuilding girlfriend named Superman Pam, who lost her legs when lifting heavy weights.
So, what is Sam to you? Is he your husband or something?
After a few years of touring, Sam eventually found some of Steve's bank statements. He was mortified to find that Steve had used all the money from his modeling career to make him into the man he was today. Oh, and he was also funding worldwide terrorism with the money made from their band. As you can probably guess, this did not end well. What started out as a small argument about moral correctness turned into a full-blown battle. Sam still had some of that era left in him. And you'd think someone with years of experience in the military and godlike supernatural powers would be able to take down some bloke called Steve like it was nothing. But Steve had something up his sleeve. Quite literally. A water cannon, in fact. Trouble was, he was allergic to water. The fact that he couldn't enjoy a refreshing beverage for his entire life was probably a huge contributor to the fact that he became evil. But that's besides the point. Steve could fly too, and packed a nasty punch.
For the real world!
In the end, Sam prevailed, but after a nasty blow to the head he lost the ability to speak properly. He can still think and type normally though, which explains the over-the-top tweets he makes every so often. It's just that he can only say Supa. After the battle, Steve went into hiding, ashamed to have been beaten by something he had essentially created. That's when he swore he would destroy Superman Sam, even if it killed him. He also decided to choose a more menacing name. Boring old Steven became Super Bad Steve. Terrifying, I know. Well, Steve and Sam have been fighting ever since, and that's how we got to where we are today. We hope you enjoyed this short documentary on the story and origins of the being known as Superman Sam.
Vanilleeis, das magst du nicht, doch das ist heiß am Strand. Super Richie wirft den Eis in Sand, sagt Tschüss mit Krokant. Das Nusscremeglas ist zugeschraubt, du kriegst es nicht mehr auf. Super Richie kommt vorbei, haut mit nem Hammer drauf. Ein Butterbrot mit Leberwurst, es fällt dich in den Dreck. Super Richie hebt es auf und wirft es für dich weg. Überall wo's brennt, sich weht, egal was auch passiert. Und fehlt jetzt nur das Klopapier, Super Richie rettet dir. Hey, da bin ich.
Just say anything please. For God's sake, stop looking at me like that.